And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hello.
the Modern Home Economist Show. We're
Yes.
here tonight, and with me is my sister by another Mr. Miss Denise Jordan.
Hello,
And
everyone.
how are you?
You know what, Leona? I'm good. I'm really good. And I've just been thinking a lot about the different things that we've been talking about in regards to this whole budget thing and the food plan, food systems, and all of that. And, you know, what none of us wants to step back into midweek grocery runs and having to do all this to and fro and with current gas prices.
Oh, girl, let's not talk about those gas prices. Guys, I was just telling Miss Denise, we went to the gas station and it had gone up overnight 30 cents. And so, you're just looking at it and it's just climbing.
Mhm.
And every time you have to fill up your car, and fortunately, we only had we needed to fill only a fourth of the tank because we try not to let it get too low. And but still, that's a chunk of money.
Well, and not only that, but we also have to think about how does that affect our grocery budget?
Mhm.
And it does affect food prices gradually. So that's the thing. So, I'm looking forward to tonight's conversation where we talk about how they can save money and also save time and cut out those midweek runs.
Oh, yes, that's a definite. That's a definite. And tonight we're also going to talk about being able to build our plan, put that plan together, try our best to do it in such a way that we're working with one, maybe two proteins a week, and we're able to have delicious meals
Hmm.
all week for our family. And, it's a money saver because the vast majority, when you really think about it, the vast majority of your grocery budget is spent on protein.
Yep, spit on meat. Hmm.
Oh, so that's the heavy part. So, all of you, we are so glad that you're here. We see all of you over in the chat. Hello, hello. You're jumping on. We appreciate those who are maybe in the back who are still working, or you're working with the kids, or you're serving dinner, or whatever the case may be. But we welcome you to Modern Home Economist. Now, we've been talking about this for several weeks now
Yes,
and
we have.
working on our grocery challenge. Little did we know when we started the challenge that it was going to be the challenge that it has become.
No,
And so
no,
it
we
was
didn't.
not a challenge that we had planned, but thank God that we have gotten in the mode. So we should be ready to bring our family along to be able to do it in a calm and intentional way. And
Mhm.
that's our effort. We want to be able to flow right with it. So, Miss Janice, you know, I noticed, I had such a good time this Saturday working with our meals that I was doing and you were doing. We had such a good time. And the nice thing about it was that we were able to show how meals can be wonderful and yet simple.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so it's a matter of making sure that we have a good pantry and making sure that we're using what's in our pantry. And I'm trying to continue on with that as we go on in the next few weeks. I don't know about you.
Well, I am too. And me and Lynn were just talking about this earlier. So tonight, of course, it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but we had our taco bowls tonight because we were using leftovers yesterday.
Mhm.
So we had talked about me doing becoming a farm girl sequential dinner where
Mhm.
Lynn and I made everything she made, every night, the
Mhm.
whole thing, we had the whole meal. And I mentioned that on one of the meals, I was supposed to put it in a blender, and I
Mhm.
had the blender set on smoothie.
Mhm.
So it came out puree like a smoothie, and so I had to
Mhm.
figure out what to do with it. So we just ate it like like a cream soup that night.
Mhm.
So yesterday I thought, okay, this costs too much money and there was too
Mhm.
much product in here to let it waste.
Mhm.
So I decided we're going to make cauliflower soup out of it because it
Ooh.
had a lot of cauliflower in it,
Mhm.
cauliflower mushrooms
Mhm.
and all that. Like I said, it was pureed. So, I sauteed the cauliflower already in the fridge, left over from earlier, sauteed some cauliflower, some radishes to tenderize them, added some chicken broth and some other things that I already had in the pantry to make
Mhm.
a creamed soup. And then we served that. I put the cauliflower chunks on top of that,
Mhm.
some crumbs, that I had kind of put together, and it was really nice. So I thought, okay, that was pretty good. And
Mhm.
then tonight we had taco rice bowls. So on Sunday for Sunday dinner, my sister sent over some ribs. And so Lynn cooked the ribs. I had some greens and made potato salad. Well, we had about 3 or 4 ribs left, just enough for
Mhm.
maybe 2 people. So I shredded all the meat off the bone, chopped
Mhm.
it up, and added some taco seasoning, made taco meat. So we had pork tacos tonight. And I
Mm.
thought we made it from leftover Sunday dinner. Everything we had was already in the house: taco seasoning, salt,
Mhm.
pepper, um, tomatoes. I mean, everything I needed was in
Mhm.
the pantry or in the fridge. So just
Mhm.
out and change the flavor profile.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this week I was so proud of myself because now Miss Denise knows that I'm not in my usual spot,
No.
and I'm doing some visiting, and so with that, I needed to cook all week, every night. And so I have, while the big guy is a little bit particular sometimes, I have a little one who's even more particular.
Oh.
And so, with that, I wanted to I sat down with her and we worked out our menu. And so I had gone through, I told her, I said, I've got to order groceries. And I said, here are the proteins. I said, do you like chicken? She said, oh, yes, I love chicken. I said, do you like ground beef? And she kind of looked at, I said, and I explained, hamburger meat. She said, oh, yeah, I like that too. So I said, well, that's wonderful. So when I ordered groceries, I ordered those two things and then just started pulling in bulk items like rice and some pasta and put together delicious meals. Now, guys, I'm going to actually show you a little bit of how we've been building. Now, last week, we introduced to you the dinner framework, rhythm framework.
Mhm.
And um, as we're doing those kind of things, we want to be able to work through it ourselves and
Yes.
to really be able to use it. And so your dinner framework, for those of you who click the link and you got your pages, your framework looks just a little bit different from what you're looking at tonight. And so what we did was we thought of it, and I'm holding it. This is kind of your learning, your book learning. And Miss Denise has your worksheet that's going to go along with it. And so what you're looking at is the worksheet that is going to go along with the framework, because I figure for some of you, I know for me, as I was working through, I'm flipping pages, and if you start flipping too many pages, you tend to get lost. And so I thought, well, let's have a one page something. So that's what we've developed. So
So,
we
Leona, can
Mhm.
I step in for a second? So, just
Sure.
remind you guys. So, those of you that downloaded your uh, 3-part, 3-page rhythm framework last week, you were emailed this worksheet. So, you might have to look in the what do you call it? Promotions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You might have to look in the promotions. So, just click in your email, and then this part of the framework should be in your email.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can probably do that now and pull it up, but it's Miss Leona's working in color. This is just black and white, so you can kind of work on it yourself. I just want to be sure and tell them that they could click on their email and pull
Mm-hmm.
it up, and they could be working with it while you're talking about it. So,
Oh
sorry
yes.
to interrupt.
And I think if I saw it correctly, yes. Um, Miss Denise also put the link here, and I'm going to leave that up while we're talking a little bit so
Mhm.
that you'll have an opportunity for those who perhaps did not have a chance to go to it last week. You'll have a chance to go and to pull up your information for the dinner rhythm framework. Now, so in working with that framework, we were able to, I was able to take the chicken and I needed a centerpiece meal. So on Sunday, what I did was to actually just roast the chicken. And I
Yeah.
roasted, I had chicken breasts that were on sale. I had chicken thighs that were on sale. So I roasted all of the chicken. I roasted it with some carrots and potatoes and onions and had, a little olive oil, some butter, salt, pepper, all the good stuff, house seasoning. And it was a delicious meal for Sunday night. But now here's the thing. I had more than enough chicken left over for another night. So that's when you're able to move on. Now it's up to you. Now, in the case of what Miss Denise did, Miss Denise was able to take that centerpiece meal, take the chicken from that, and move it right on over to her second meal. She would changed up the veggies just a little bit or added to those veggies, and she changed the flavor profile
Yeah.
so that it didn't taste exactly the same. Now, guys, I'll put this back up a little later so you can see it, but it's also in our description box as well, both of ours. And yes, both of our individual channels and the one for this show. And so, and she was able to do that for meal one, meal two, meal three, and even got a fourth meal
Yeah.
out of that one time of cooking the chicken. How about that? How
Well, now,
about
when I did that, though, I will admit I cooked 8 chicken thighs.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Whereas now, if I was just going to cook a whole chicken, I could probably get 4 meals out of a whole chicken for just the
mm-hmm.
two of us, because I
Right.
would make it stretch. I would put the chicken into quarters, and then I would
Mhm.
have a quarter of the chicken for the different meals. So yeah, I could probably do that. But now Hillary is saying that she can't get 4 meals out of one chicken because
Mhm.
she's got, 2 men and a 7-year-old plus
Oh,
herself
yeah.
feeding 3 adults and a little person.
Mhm.
So you might be able to get two,
Right.
maybe, depending upon how hearty their appetites are.
Now
Sometimes
that's
men
true.
can be a little bit more so than others.
That's true. And another thing, Hillary, to think about is that when you do that initial roast for your first centerpiece meal, is instead of cooking one chicken, cook two initially. And then if you have some left over, you can always package it and put it away for another day. But the nice thing is being able to take that chicken throughout the entire week and not one day tastes the same.
Hmm.
Each one is totally different. Now, we're sharing with Miss Denise that the dinner framework is perfect. It really is. And I was able to use it this week. Now, this is what I had to do because of my little folks who needed a little change up. And that's not just the little one, there was the big guy too. And so we'll just tell it like it is.
Okay.
But so I started with the roast chicken. And for the second meal, I did chicken Alfredo. So that took care of the chicken that I had initially. And to be honest with you, I still have some chicken left that I'm considering doing a fifth meal and having like chicken fajitas because you don't necessarily have to have whole pieces of chicken. They can be cut up. So that's going to maybe the fourth meal. Now, so my second anchor protein was ground beef,
Mhm.
and I used 2 pounds of ground beef. Now, what I did, the baby likes spaghetti and meatballs, but here's the funny story. In our conversation and talking about the spaghetti and the meatballs, she said, "Now, Mimi," she said, "I don't like those big baseball looking meatballs." And I fell out laughing. And I thought, okay, now she's little and she already knows what she doesn't like.
Baseball, meatballs.
Baseball. So to her, a nice size meatball looks like baseball. So I told her, I said, okay. I said, so I took out the little what do you call them, the little scoops that you use for your
Oh, the little ice cream scoops.
ice cream scoop. So we had a set that had 3 different sizes. So I started with the big one, and she said, "Oh no, 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 that was too big," and it was kind of like the three bears. We got to the medium one, and I thought that was going to be perfect. And then she says, "Oh," and she looks at the little one. She says, "This is what we need. This is the perfect size." And they did come out quite nicely, and they're just about an inch wide and nice little meatballs. So we were able to make nice little meatballs, but I season the meat in such a way that I can also use it. Now, you'll see that for meal 4, I have hamburgers, but the meat is actually seasoned in case we're not able to do hamburgers. I can put it together as a meatloaf and just put in a dish, meatloaf, throw it in the oven, and we're good to go. So I gave myself a little bit of an option just in case something happened, and as it turned out, things happened. So we had to make a change. But what I'm saying is that this framework will work. So I know I can't remember who it was who was commenting last week and said that their husband was someone like mine, that they couldn't do chicken, all week, that they would have to have a little more variety. Well, this gives you that option. And understand this, I didn't have um, chicken on Sunday and then turn around and have chicken on Monday. I threw in the spaghetti and the meatballs on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, which is today, the chicken came back, but it looked totally different flavor profile. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna flip back to the chicken. We'll have and of course, then Friday we'll come back to probably hamburger, something easy. But that gives you some options of being able to pull those meals together, and to know this whole framework was put together in probably less than 30 minutes. And that's because, number one, once I knew what the anchor proteins were going to be, the rest of the meal came together very quickly, because you can look in your pantry, see what you've got or you don't have, and know what your family likes or what they don't like. And you just start jotting down, and it works out wonderfully.
And it does work out wonderfully. And I just want to point out too, your dinner framework that you talk about, the 4-part framework that you talk about, you have shown us beautifully how that framework works here when you talk about the protein, and then the bulk builder, the veggie volume, and then the flavor boosters. So if you guys look at what Miss Leona put together, she's got her anchor protein, the roast chicken, and then her bulk, which is typically potatoes or rice or beans or something like that. She's got potatoes, and then veggies, her carrots, and then you've got your flavor boosters with your butter, your olive oil, and your onions. So with each one of those, you can see she's got her veggie volume, her bulk booster, as well as her anchor protein, and then her flavor boosters, which changes up the flavor profile immensely. So I just wanted to make sure people saw that you are working that program just like you told them to do.
Oh, absolutely. We were able to do this and to have, I called it the 4-part budget formula, but the budget formula is right here in our framework. Miss Denise is absolutely right. We've been able to bring it all together because, when you have a good plan, you can kind of slide it in and might have to make a little bit of an adjustment, but that's okay. So, Miss Denise, once you had done, did you find that you spent less because you had, your main protein and then just change the veggies and the
You know, I think I did. I think I did. So once I had the main protein and I knew it was going to be chicken for
Mhm,
that particular week, I had bought, 2 packs of chicken that I used for that particular week. And
mhm,
then it was just a matter of, okay, so, what was going to be my bulk boosters, which we like to do either rice or
mhm,
mashed potatoes or something like that. I don't do pasta as much, but
mhm,
those were things that I already have on my shelf.
mhm,
So I didn't have to go out and buy those. The things that I had to purchase, which tends to be a little pricier right now, was
mhm.
the fresh produce.
Yes.
I was out of carrots, so I had to go, buy carrots, buy onion. But
Mhm.
sometimes those things can cost you to spend a little bit more. But for the most part, I had everything there. And like I said, for today's meal, I had everything here that I could just pull from the fridge or from
Mhm.
the pantry to make the meal. So it does save money to have a well stocked pantry. And everybody's pantry is not going to be as well stocked as others.
That's
If
true.
you've got some things on your shelf that you and your family will eat, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and as you go into, and I realized, I kind of knew this, but realized, when you go into, if you're in someone else's home, what's important to them is not necessarily the same items that are going to be your go-to items that you would normally have. So some of those things I actually went and picked up or ordered some of those so that I made sure the big guy had things that he liked, and that I know he's going to look for. And so I picked up a few of those, but still I was able to stay under $80
Mhm.
for the whole week and added a person. So, and she's got a healthy little appetite. So, that was good. But, let me tell you, the really good thing about this, and I haven't had to do this in a long time, of where, we're picking up after school, and we're rushing off to this club, or we're rushing off to softball or whatever it is. I haven't had to do that in a very long time. And then you have to come, as I would call it, sliding in. That's why I told Miss Denise earlier today. I said, Miss Denise, I'm gonna be coming in hot today because I'm gonna be rushing in the door. And the funny thing is that I had her dinner all ready. So all I had to do was come in, take it out the refrigerator, put it into the microwave. She was able to sit down and eat. And because she really was quite hungry, and I understood that. But, those are some of the things I know that you all are having to deal with
Mhm.
every day. Of having children who are going here and there. And I'm saying to you, this dinner framework works.
Works.
It really does work, and it's beneficial. So as we're moving
We
through
can
this.
look real quick too. Let's look at what are pantry items for most people here. You've got your
Mhm,
potatoes, which most people will have. Those potatoes
mhm,
can be fresh potatoes or boxes of mashed potatoes. You've
mhm,
got your spaghetti, that's a pantry item.
mhm.
Got pasta with the chicken Alfredo. So probably the can of cream soups and that kind of thing. The
Yes.
broth, those are pantry items.
Mhm.
And then with the hamburger, probably the only pantry items there could be your ketchup and your mustard. But if you look, there's a different flavor booster in every one of those. But
Mhm.
those are all pantry items. So I just want people to notice that, pantry items can really help you out quite a bit.
Mhm. And the fries actually were in the freezer. And so, when we're thinking about our four corner pantry,
Mhm,
that's including your freezer. So,
mhm,
as you're stocking, you're not just stocking your main freezer, you want to make sure that you have things in your regular deep freeze and in your refrigerator that are go to items. So, those would be your things like cream, in my case, it was the pesto. I always have Italian seasoning,
mhm.
garlic, and whether whether it's powder or whether it's fresh or whether it's just the mints that you get in a jar. It doesn't matter, but it's all there. And of course, I know Miss Denise is like I am. Oh, Miss Denise, let me stop right here so I can give you a laugh. I got so tickled. I was watching your video from Saturday, and girl, you put a whole can of cranberry sauce on that plate.
Oh, cranberry sauce.
I got so tickled. I went, oh my goodness. The plate was great, but it was just so funny. Miss Denise just, you know how she does. And she's got her little fingers up and she's putting her little cranberry sauce on there where she put that first spoonful. And I thought, oh, that's nice. And then next thing I know, she went back and got that second one and put it on. It's like, okay.
Well, here, this is what I thought you were going to say. So, one of the things they've been talking a lot about lately when you're doing video and live is to be able to share a story with your people. So in my last video, not the one where we did the collab with the meals, but the pantry one that I did, nobody mentioned what I thought they would. And while I was in the middle of talking, all of a sudden my husband starts washing the windows. And so nobody said a word. So I was like, I was talking away, and then I heard this noise. I'm like, what is going on? And I heard all this, like something was just pounding on the windows, and he was washing the windows. I was like, what's happening here? And I was looking around. Sister Lynn was just cracking up. She said, you could have seen the look on your face. So I left it in there. But just before that happened, the emergency alarm went off.
Oh, no.
I had to wait while that went off. I was like, oh my goodness. So then that stopped. And as soon as that stopped and I started talking again, he was gone. And so all of a sudden I hear this. I'm like, what the heck was happening? And then he came home and turned on the hose and was washing the windows. And none of the people who saw the video said a word about that. I didn't even talk about it. So yeah.
Well, see, now nobody fussed about him washing the window, but they fussed at me for the vacuum running.
Oh, yeah.
It's like it's on a timer. And when it's time for it to run, it runs. And I need for it to run. But anyway, life is what it is. We just have to deal with it. So guys, I really do. I really do hope that you take the time to go and to get your framework if you haven't already done it. So for those of you who are just coming in, I'm Leona Dooley.
I am Denise Jordan from Homemaking.
And we are the wild and wonderful Modern Home Economist.
And we have a lot of fun over here.
And we are telling it like it is because, life is special. And we need to be able to laugh because, there are so many things that are serious that are going on around us. And it's just fun to be able to bring all of us together and have a wonderful community where we can giggle.
We have a great community.
We do. We can love on each other, and we can laugh together at funny things that happen.
We have a new member, a family member of mine joining us tonight. Rhonda M. Jordan is here. I saw her in there earlier, so hopefully she's still here.
Okay.
But she was here and she said she liked the framework. I'm in one of her courses, and she's the one that talks about how to develop digital products for women over 40.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. And so she said she liked our digital products. So
that's great. Well, I can't wait. So we're going to kind of go through and say hello to everyone. And Cerulean, we're going to eat all week. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I think that's a ma'am. And yes, ma'am. We are going to eat all week.
And what we mean by that is when we say cook once, eat all week, we mean cook one item, maybe like if you cook roast chicken, but you're going to use different parts of it all week so that you're not starting from scratch every night. And there's Ethel.
Yay! We got Ethel. We're glad you're here. We're so glad that you're able to tune in with us tonight. We have Dahlia Roses. Hello, hello.
Mhm.
And glad to have you here. We've got Christina J, who's so happy to finally make it to a live tonight. Yay! Because I know most of the time I see you in the replays.
Mm.
And I'm so glad you're here. We've got Kim, who's with us from this corner of the kingdom. Hello, hello. And Molly's here with us. Wonderful. We're glad you're here. And Psalms 146 is
I'm or Sean.
Andrea.
Andre.
Andrea, I think.
Mhm.
And if I'm wrong, please correct me.
No.
Uh, good God's glorious evening to us and everyone. Yes, yes, yes. And we have Cal, who's
Hey, Cal.
yay, who's here with us. Hope you're well and
Mhm.
glad to have you with us. Kim,
And
Kim
Sharp Heart.
F. Sharp Harp. Oh, you must play the harp, I'm
Mhm.
assuming. Okay. Now, so we're just kind of guessing there, but we're glad that you're here with us tonight and hope you enjoy yourself. Hazel's here. Hello, hello. Glad you're here.
And
And
that's a different Hazel from the other
yes,
Hazel we
that's
usually
not
have.
our regular Hazel. This
So
is a different,
welcome, Hazel.
yes. And please jump right into the conversation.
Mhm.
Tiffany Robinson's here tonight. We're glad to have you, Tiffany. We've got Catherine Frazier. Hello, Kat. We're glad you're here. And let's see, got Kathleen Hanson, who's here. Not East, but Eat. Oh, okay. She was
Yeah.
toast. All right, so we're eating. Okay, we've got Covington Creek at home.
Sally. Hi, Sally.
Sally's here. Hello, hello. We have Nancy who's with us. Hello, we're glad to have you. We've got Pray Your Way Through who's with us tonight. We've got TJ here tonight. We're glad. And TJ, we're going to be talking. Just we got something we are considering and would like for you to work with. So just be on the lookout for something from us, and a couple others who are here. Hillary, we're glad it's cauliflower soup. Lucy to the rescue.
It was
Absolutely.
definitely a Lucy moment.
You know, we laugh at Lucy, but she got it done. She got it
Mhm.
done. All right, Hillary. She says she's having a bone-in honey-baked ham for Easter. Yummy.
Mhm.
And she has a lot of recipes planned for the leftovers. Oh, that's
Well,
wonderful.
you know, because Sandra becoming a farm girl says they're not leftovers,
Nope.
they're planned overs.
Planned overs. So you got to make plans for those. And that's what we're trying to do with our framework here.
Mhm.
Natasha, let's see. What does that say? Natasha in the middle.
Mhm.
She's here with us, and I don't know why these glasses are acting up. But Hillary said she cannot get 4 meals out of one chicken. I think that's what you were talking about
Mhm.
early. She said she's lucky to get two, feeding two men and a 7-year-old and herself. Well, and that makes absolutely good sense. So I'm suggesting that you might want to prepare two chickens
Mhm.
and or maybe a chicken and a pack of either thighs or breast or whatever parts that you like.
Mhm.
And then that way you have some additional meat that you can use.
And that's a great idea to go ahead and, to plan ahead and cook two or cook
Mhm.
more. Because when I
Absolutely.
was watching Cassandra becoming a farm girl, she cooked 4 chicken quarters, the
Mhm.
4 thigh and leg quarters, and
Mhm.
then she also cooked like either 4 or 6 thighs. So when
Mhm.
Lynn and I made our dish, we cooked 8 thighs, so it just kind of worked out. So you're cooking more than what you normally would.
Okay. And
We got a question.
yeah.
When you
Okay.
start hearing that, we got a question.
Okay. So we have Miss Denise's sister who's with us tonight from Soft Pages Studio Official. And we're glad that she's here. we call her Mickey Blue Skies.
Mhm.
And
The
she,
question is from Rhonda Jordan, so she's still on. I don't know
okay,
the time frame. The
okay.
question was, she says she may have missed it, but can I share how I roasted my vegetables? I saw that you something mentioned probably EVOO and butter. So when you had your roasted vegetables,
Mm-hmm,
that
mm-hmm.
so it's from
Yes,
Rhonda M. Jordan. I'm not sure the time frame.
Auntie and Jordan. Ah, got Linda. Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay. Now, hello, Rhonda. We're glad you're here. You said you may have missed it, but can we share how I roasted the vegetables? Yes, I did use EVO and butter. And what I like to do is to melt the butter in the olive oil, maybe do a couple of tablespoons, and I'll season the chicken and sprinkle a little extra seasoning on the vegetables in a large sheet pan, and typically line the sheet pan. For me, I like to line it with parchment paper so it's easy cleanup. But then I will drizzle the mixture of the olive oil and the butter over it and just kind of flip it with some tongs to make sure everything gets nice and happy with each other. And then put it into a 400 to, now my oven, I have to use 400 because it tends to heat extremely high. It's a gas oven. But for some ovens, you can probably put it on 425, and that will work just nicely in just a regular electric oven. And roast them until you get your chicken done. And what I also like to do is to start the chicken first and get that chicken done and get it about halfway through, then add the vegetables. And what you're doing is that you're allowing the vegetables to cook in the juices from the chicken, but they will not be mushy by the time the chicken's done. They will be nice and tender. You'll have still a little bit of bite to them because I don't know about you, but I do not like mushy vegetables, and especially carrots.
Mhm.
And you want them to have a little bit of bite. And so anyway, so if you do that, if you let that that chicken get a good start, then add the vegetables in, and particularly the potatoes and the carrots. And then if you have softer vegetables, you can add those in. Like you decide that you want to add some squash, into it. Put that in maybe 30 minutes before you plan to take it out, because otherwise the squash will end up as mush. But the rest of the vegetables are going to be able to hold their own, which is nice, really nice. So
Here's a couple down from you from Dion she's from China. She says, "Hey, aunties."
yes, Dion Wise, Diani, Diani
Mhm.
Wise. Hey, Auntie Denise and Auntie Leona. Hello. Oh, you're back from China. Yay. It's 8:20 a.m. in the morning over there. How about that? We are so glad that you're here with us.
Well, that's
And
almost 12 hours different because it's about 8:20 here.
yeah, yeah.
Wow,
How about that? So it's evening here, morning there. I love it. I
love
love
it.
it.
Thank you for joining our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything you want to know? Let us know. Stay in touch with us, and we'll
Mhm.
be happy to share everything. Um,
And let me just say real quick, Ethel
mhm,
was asking where is Blue Sky. She said she misses her. Well, Blue Skies is Soft Pages Studio. She's on there, but where
mhm,
it says Soft Pages Studio, that's Blue Skies.
mhm. And we've got, let's see, I think we got Rhonda, right? Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And let's see, we're coming up. Oh, Hazeletta is with us, and she says she's here tonight. She hasn't caught a live in a while, so we're glad that you're here
Yeah.
tonight. Well, look who's here. Our Philly
Oh,
feminist
Philly
is
Feminist.
here.
Thank you. We're so
Yay!
glad you're here.
We're glad you're here tonight,
Mhm.
and so happy to have you here. Let's see. We got Hazel who said a different pic, but okay, you changed your picture on us. This is still our Hazel. She said she's just changed her picture. All right, all right.
Oh,
I love it. I love it.
okay.
So,
Oh, we have another question.
uh-huh.
Oh, it's from Florence at Real F Donald.
Okay.
I'm not sure where she
I
is
didn't
on
see
there,
her
but
where when
Real
I
F Donald. Did Leona get new eyewear, or have I just not noticed? You're looking
yes, I did. Yes, I did. I got new glasses and they're driving me crazy. I'm trying to adjust to them. And you know how, they get whether or not they get the lines right and whether you can read. So sometimes you might see me doing this, trying to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and reading. But yes, I did. Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. And here's Tutu. Tutu's here as well. She said next week she's going to use these suggestions, except for the second beef meal. She said she's going to make a Korean rice and beef bowl. Ooh, that sounds delicious. Delicious. I love it. And we've got Alexandria here tonight. Hello. Well, you're never late. You're right on time. We're just glad that you're here. Relax Bubble is here with us. Hello, hello. She said, we're cooking smarter, not harder. Absolutely. We're trying our best to do that. Let's see. There was one more. Oh, this is Mickey. She says she can eat the same thing with the same flavor profile for at least 4 or 5 days. Actually, Mickey, I can do the same thing. But I have that other person who lives with me, and he isn't having it. He would tell me very quickly, no, I'm gonna have to go out and get something. But anyway, so we're gonna keep going here, but we're gonna talk a little bit more. Miss Denise, as I was thinking about our budgets, we're looking at the factors. I noticed that some of us who are more seasoned, who are here in our community, kind of adjusted, did a little pivot, and went right on with the grocery challenge like we did. But we had some younger homemakers who really struggled a little bit with trying to find what was their right place and where they should be, how much money they should spend. Those are the kind of questions that we got as well. So let's look at a couple of the factors that really will shape your budget. Now, I put Sprouts, the picture of Sprouts, because it's a new store for me. I don't know if you have one close to you, Miss Denise.
We don't have
But
one.
it is amazing. And if you like fresh fruit and vegetables that are absolutely beautiful, all organic, I mean, this is the place to go to. And but it comes with a cost. Let me
Price.
just say that. But so I did that purposely because one of the things that we want to take into consideration is that many times, and I know we've addressed this probably since August, we've talked about income.
Mhm.
And it's kind of the elephant in the room because of the fact that all of us are at different income levels,
Mhm.
and that income is going to impact what your budget looks like. And so I was looking to find, on average, how much should we spend on average? And the USDA suggested somewhere between 10% to 15% of your income typically goes to the food that you eat.
Mhm.
And then there are some other things that are going to impact it in addition to that can either lower it
Mhm.
or increase it.
Decent.
So we have to look at our family size. And, that goes back to, who was it, Hillary, who was saying that one chicken wouldn't do for her because she had two men, she had a little one, as well as herself. So family size has a lot to do with it. Here was a big one, was dietary needs.
Dietary needs.
Yes. And when I walked into Sprouts, it really smacked me in the face because I was looking around at all the gluten free, all of the keto, all
Mm,
the special, diabetic types of products that are out there, looking at people who are wanting to really eat well and eat healthy green food, good plant-based food, and it's coming with a tremendous cost.
yes.
And I have a feeling that that cost is not going to decrease, not right now, because many of those fruits and vegetables now have to be transported. And so, as we're seeing the changes with um, our fuel cost for our cars,
Hmm.
understand, all you have to do, you look at your cost when you're looking at the signs passing a gas station, look at the cost of diesel.
Yes, so the truckers are having quite a bit of a
Oh,
price increase as well. And when you talk about the dietary needs, we talked about
mhm,
this once before. People with diabetes or gluten
mhm,
free or a lot of like peanut allergies and
mhm,
different things like that have to be really, really careful about the things they choose.
mhm,
Sometimes buying things that you are making yourself from scratch rather than
mhm,
processed foods can
mhm,
help you out in that regard. Or I remember once a client said, "Well, I have diabetes, so I can't eat pasta." Well, you can eat pasta with
mhm,
diabetes. You
mhm,
just have to control the portion size.
mhm.
You have a big old bowl or a big old plate, so you have to look at that as well. But I think the next thing, though, Leona, where you've got is store access. Now that's huge.
Yes, it is.
Because some people live in food deserts, meaning there's no grocery store
Mhm,
in a certain radius. So if you've got people that are having to use public transportation
mhm,
or might be low income public transportation, sometimes there's no grocery stores there. One of the things we used to do when I was teaching at this one university with my nursing students, we would do a day where they would have to catch the bus from school
mhm,
to a food bank, and they couldn't drive. They'd have to catch the city bus, figure out how to get there, and then catch the bus from there back to school
mhm.
and kind of look at what the people had to do and how many groceries can you carry if you're on the bus. And it was certainly an eye opener. So sometimes store access is huge. That's
Yes.
why you see so many gas stations selling
Mhm,
food and stuff like that.
mhm. And the sad part is that it seems like when businesses close their stores, they
Hmm.
have certain, store closings, that is almost always in the communities that need the store the
Most.
most.
Hmm. Hmm.
And typically, those are also the stores that they are not going to get as much, say, fresh fruit and vegetables. When
Hmm.
you go in their store, their fresh fruit and vegetable area is very tiny
Hmm.
as compared to all of the processed food. Now, I don't know, I've often wondered, and I haven't had anyone that I could ask to find out if that's done because they find that the people who are shopping are more prone to use the processed food versus cooking the fresh foods.
Good
I,
question.
I don't know. That I don't know. But, store access is a big ticket item. And lifestyle is another big ticket item. And, you may have a lifestyle that is vegan. You may have a lifestyle that you can just eat whatever you want, and it's okay. But for some people, our lifestyle may be where we have to be very cautious with our pennies and our nickels, and so that's something that shapes our budget. And
Hmm.
another one is spending habits. Now, I know you all have heard Miss Denise and I talk about the fact that when we were working, we would go to the grocery store. I probably went to the grocery store at least 3 times, if not four,
Hmm.
times a week. If I needed something, I just rush in after work, go get it. And I know I spent more, but I was able to pick up what I needed. But our the spending habits change
change.
as your budget changes.
Definitely. When
Oh
you
man,
become on a fixed income, they
yes.
definitely change.
Oh yeah, you come to a screeching halt
Mhm.
because all, the dollars that you were spending at that point, you really have to watch. And so those spending habits also are important. So all of these are factors that are going to shape your budget. Now, I'm kind of a predominant Walmart shopper only because I got into shopping with Walmart during COVID, and they deliver the groceries and the works. Now, whereas, and occasionally Kroger's a little farther away.
I like
So, when I can go to Kroger, I love Kroger's, but Miss Denise is a Kroger shopper.
Mhm.
And so, we tend to gravitate to those stores that we feel very comfortable with, that we
Yeah.
can go in, close our eyes, and we know exactly where everything is. But and that's important. But for those who are finding their way, they've got to learn the stores, and they've got to find the places that are going to carry the best products for their family. Now, as we talk about that grocery budget, even Miss Denise and I talked about what's in your grocery budget. And that's going to be the question I have for you all. What exactly do you include? We were talking about hours. Of course, I have food, and but I include my laundry products, my cleaning products. When I had a cat, I included the cat food and all that goes along with it, and so that threw my budget into a whole different category.
Oh, girl, tell me about it because I
Oh,
tell you what, cat food is expensive.
yes,
So
it is.
now we buy cat food on the grocery budget. I just
Mhm,
decided I'll make it part of the grocery budget.
mhm,
So, and found that if I'm ordering groceries, and even if I'm
mhm,
picking it up sometimes, the 25 to 30 cents that Walmart might save me on cat food is
mhm,
not worth driving over there to get it. So
mhm,
we'll just go ahead and get cat food on the grocery budget. But cat litter, I don't put on the grocery budget. That's part of the household budget.
mhm,
So, and as far as the paper products, I'll get paper towels, napkins, and toilet paper on the grocery budget because I'm there at Kroger and I'll just go ahead and get it. Now, before
mhm,
COVID, I would stop at Target on the way home from work, or I would make a special trip to Target and I would get paper products there because I like the bulk way they sold them.
mhm,
So
mhm,
right now I'll just grab a pack of napkins and I'll get my paper products at Kroger, unless I'm planning to get cat litter. And then I'll get that at Walmart. And then I'll get the toilet paper, paper towels,
mhm.
and the cat litter there.
Well, we try to do, the big guy loves Costco. And so we probably do a Costco run at least once a month. And so I just plan at that point to pick up the paper towels, the toilet paper, the napkins, paper plates if I need them, and whatever big items like that I can, I'll get them in bulk there. And then that means that when I really get to my main grocery budget, then I don't have to deal with that. And so I've gotten to the point that I've taken those paper products off. I
Mm,
even purchase my laundry products from Costco, but I've put that under a household budget rather than adding it under the grocery budget. And of course, your cleaning products
mhm.
and go under the household as well. So, as you're thinking about your budget, you may want to recategorize a few things so that
Yeah.
you can kind of free yourself up a little bit, and maybe try to purchase the paper, the laundry, the cleaning products. And to be honest with you, cleaning products you probably don't need every month,
Mhm.
and even the paper products you may not need every month,
Oh,
but
I in paper.
But now my laundry products, I typically get the largest size I can get so that I can at least get a month, maybe a month and a half, because I wash every day. And so, uh, where I am at this point, they don't do that. And so, I have to say, I bring my own laundry products so that I'm not dipping into what they have, but I'm okay with that. And I like certain things, certain types of laundry products. So that's not being snooty. I'm not trying
No,
to,
no, no. Mm-mm.
not the least bit, but I'm just saying that I don't want to use up what they have. And so I but that's household. And but those things that are strictly food, those things that are going to go in your mouth, then those things come under the grocery budget.
Mhm.
And so I noticed that we had $500 for the month,
Mhm.
and the USDA called that a thrifty budget.
Oh.
And if you were more leisure, which is probably where we were when we were working, then our budget extended from 1,000 to 1,500 a month, which, as I think back, that's probably about right because I could leisurely go to the store whenever I felt like it. But where I am at this point, I'm a little more thrifty.
More
So
cost conscious.
absolutely. So we have to think about how many people, but what they did, they multiplied um $25 per person per week. That's how they looked at it.
Hmm.
$25 per person per week. And I'm thinking, okay, $25. Well, if it's just two of us, that would be $50, on average. And I'm thinking with $50, I would have to have a really, 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 really good pantry to
Mhm.
keep that going. But I could do it, not using any household types of things. But I thought that was pretty, that's pretty low, $25 a person for
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Mhm.
So think about it as to what you want to spend per person.
I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what our viewers do in regards to, do they include their laundry, cleaning, and pet products on their grocery bill and just extend it out? Or do they have a set fee for each one because maybe they purchased them at different stores?
That's true. Now I'm looking at I jumped over here to Hillary because Hillary said she tried feeding hubby one kind of protein for the week, say like chicken. She said he would be bringing home takeout. I'm with you. I'm with you. I know exactly what you're saying.
Well,
Um,
since you're over there, we got a couple questions. Maybe we could take
okay,
them
go
right now.
ahead.
Now, I can't find them on there, but
Okay.
Blue Skies sent me the message, and the question was, well, first of all, from Lucy or Hillary asking, inquiring minds want to know, is my kitty an indoor cat yet? And yes, he is an indoor cat. So he's now king of the house. So
Okay.
there's that. Um,
Oh, okay. This one she was asking about blue skies.
so here's the
And
question here. This one is from Kim F. Sharp. And
okay.
he wants to know, do I freeze my homemade broth? She said she noticed that I may have, and she struggles with Ziploc bags. So she wants to know, do I freeze it in jars? And I noticed someone else had a question about jars as well, saying that
Mhm.
when they freeze in jars, they
Oh,
tend.
there it is.
I freeze mine in jars. Now, do I have? Yeah, there's the question.
Mhm.
So, do I have I ever put it in Ziploc bags if I run out of my jars or my ball plastic freezer jars?
Mhm.
I will, but
Mhm.
I will freeze them in the ball plastic jars as well as mason jars.
Oh,
And
yeah.
someone in there said when they freeze them in glass jars, they tend to break. Well, here's the thing. So let's say this is a mason jar. Notice this
Mhm,
is a straight up and down jar. It
mhm,
does not have a shoulders or a neck. So
mhm,
I mean, if you look at me, you can see my shoulders here, and then it's got a little smaller rim around the top for the
mhm,
neck. Those are your regular mouth jars, and those jars with shoulders on them, if you freeze if you freeze them, they
mhm.
tend to break, particularly if you freeze them above the level of the shoulder. They will crack and they will break. So they're not
Yes.
recommended to freeze in those jars. But if
Mhm,
they're straight up and down, you can freeze in those. But they
mhm,
will also tell you not to freeze above a certain level.
mhm,
Sometimes there'll be like a little lip on there, or a little
mhm.
line to tell you that, but you want to leave at least an inch head space
That's
in
it.
your
That's
glass
it.
in your jars. And then all glass jars are not meant to be put in the freezer.
That's true.
Mason jars,
Mhm,
particularly all mason jars,
mhm,
they're wide mouth jars.
mhm,
You can put them in the freezer. So
mhm,
many of their jelly jars are wide mouth jars.
mhm,
And you put those in the freezer.
mhm.
But if they have a shoulder on them, meaning they have a little neck, and then you see shoulder, those are not meant to go in the freezer, and they will crack often. So don't do those.
Right. And if you do those, then you just know you have to. I would even not even adhere to the inch. Leave about 2 inches. Just don't fill the jar up because you know that liquid's going to expand. And so a lot of times, if I'm using a jar like that, then because I have a tendency to use Classico jars for everything, and so I will put them actually sit them in a bag so that if something happens, then the cleanup is not so awful. But I freeze in glass jars very often,
Mhm.
but just know you cannot fill it up. Um,
There's something from Tutu. She
oh,
says, "Oh no, go ahead."
go ahead. I'll find her. I was
She says grocery budget is separate from paper and cleaners. Paper
okay.
is included as we prepare it fresh from chicken thighs and sweet potatoes and vegetables. Oh, we were just talking about earlier today, me and Lynn,
Mhm.
about making your own pet food. I don't think I'm
Oh.
though. Mhm.
Skylar said she freezes her homemade broth, but she's trying to use glass containers. Well, you can certainly do it, but just know you cannot fill it up completely, and you want to try to use them. If you're using any jars that are not those ball mason jars, then try to use those first so you
Mhm.
can get those out. I wouldn't leave them in there for an extended period. And but you can put them in there and make sure that they are cold. I usually put them in, let them cool on the counter
Mhm.
to a reasonable point, then put them in. I put mine in the refrigerator and let it cool in the refrigerator, and then put it in the freezer, so to make sure that it's nice and cold.
So again, just for you guys to think about it, all glass jars are not the same.
Mhm,
So that's
mhm.
why we're saying mason jars.
Absolutely,
Oh, and
absolutely.
Cindy said what you just said.
Yes, okay, just don't fill the jar too far, and then when it's frozen, you can put the lid on. It can expand when it freezes. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Cindy. Um, Skylar said she froze yogurt and granola in jars, and she said it worked out quite well. So that's good. Um, Now, dude, I freeze a lot in. Okay, we've got questions coming in.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, that's Max. She needed a brand name grocery store by her, but instead they're building a $9.5 million hotel and revamping a Wendy's into a Culver. Huh. So no grocery store, just everything else.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. I don't know what it is. The grocery The grocers are certainly, I guess, economizing. They think they are anyway. She said maybe she'll freeze some yogurt. I love frozen yogurt and
Mhm.
put some fruit in it. Oh, it's so good. Uh, Now, Magnolia Bell, hello, hello. Diabetics or those eating low carb, you can substitute regular pasta for zucchini noodles. Yes.
Yes.
Egg life pasta, palmini, and shiitake noodles. You want to keep that blood sugar down. Absolutely. I was listening to a conversation on the way home today that was talking about dealing with those who are diabetic and eating a lower carb diet.
Mhm.
Hillary said, oh, okay, that she's talking to her. Here's Tutu. She said, you can pump up the protein in rice by cooking it in high quality protein rich bone broth.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mhm. Dahlia Rose has a comment too.
Okay. See, Hillary,
Oh,
Tutu.
Kathleen, hi.
Tell me where they are. You got a
Um,
time?
Dahlia Rose is 8:49. Dahlia
Okay.
Rose.
Okay. 8:45.
8:49.
Okay. All right. Dahlia. There she is. All right. So Dahlia says she freezes broths and soups in 2-cup silicone cubes that allow her to then take the giant cube out and bag it up. She said it works well for portioning out and stacking in a freezer. Yes, I do that as well. And but I make broth so often, sometimes I run out of my cubes. So I have to use something else. But our little containers that Miss Denise and I have, the what's the name of the little containers with the black tops?
Oh, the ball.
The little ball containers are great. They
Mhm.
are great. And you can freeze those as well and pop them out and put them into a jar. Uh, let's see. Oh, Amy said she also makes homemade cleaners. Oh, that's nice. That's
Mhm.
nice. And Kathleen said, "Hi, Mickey." So, Mickey, they're glad to see you.
He's got a cat, and his name is Cab Calloway.
Oh, that is too cute. The frilly feminist said her daughter's dermatologist told her to try and cook pasta and rice the day before you eat it and keep it in the fridge overnight to cut the amount of sugar that
Oh,
goes into the bloodstream. Huh.
interesting.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Okay, so pray your way through. She said, Anna, I'm not sure where Anna was, but I know some other people had said they were praying. She's praying for her. May the Lord,
Mm.
family, and friends surround you with love and comfort, and may the Lord be your hiding place. Let's see if I can find Anna. Anna. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, Ann Allen. Ann. Oh,
Oh.
Ann Allen. Hi, everyone. She's going to ask for prayers. Her daughter passed away on the 11th, and it's going to be her husband's past 2 years tomorrow. Oh, Ann, I am so sorry.
Mhm.
Ann used to be with us all the time, and
Mhm.
I know I haven't seen you as frequently, but didn't know you had a lot going on. Bless your heart. I am so sorry. The Philly feminist said that she also has a separate spray bottle that she uses for glass and she adds rubbing alcohol. I think they're talking about cleaners. And Oh, they're talking about Archie. Nitty T said she's happy to hear that Archie is an indoor cat. And is that her picture of him on the screen?
Mhm.
Absolutely. Isn't he cute? Where
King
he's
of the house.
there he is. He's a little rascal.
Definitely.
So we are glad he's here. But let's
Well,
see.
you know what? Maybe we better
Mhm.
get back to our budget real quick because I was thinking of something that I wanted to share.
Okay,
And maybe at the end, if you could say a prayer for Anne.
sure.
Okay. So we were talking about the budget
Hmm.
and like how to set the budget for yourself or for your family. And
Hmm.
one of the things that you can consider doing is, especially if you took the challenge, think about how much you usually spend.
Hmm.
Not how much you want to spend, but how
Hmm.
much do you normally spend. That's probably a realistic place to start with
Hmm.
setting your budget, is looking at how much you normally spend
Hmm.
and saving up your receipts and that kind of thing. So you can get a realistic view of what it is that you actually do. And then you can adjust up 5 or 10% based upon inflation or whatever's going on in prices. Or you can decide you want to try to cut that by 5 or 10% and then just try to shop within that. And then also trying to think about setting that budget weekly compared to monthly.
Oh, that's
Like
true.
you said, you had both of us planned $500 for the month, which gave
Hmm.
us $125 a week to spend. So it's like, okay, I have $125 this week to spend. It's a lot simpler to think in that term rather than terms of the 500.
That's true. That's true. And it even though we tried not to go to the grocery store unless absolutely necessary, it was still a good starting place.
Mm-hmm.
And that really averaged out just perfectly. So I am really glad that we were able to do it. And so some people were able to look at what they normally spent. And at the end, they either realized that, oh, I've got a lot of extra, and they could narrow their budget a little bit, and especially since we've got to put so much into the fuel, but
Mm-hmm.
also that they were able, some realized they needed to put more money into the budget
Mm-hmm.
because they had tried to make a budget that was a little less than, I think they were trying to keep with our 500 and found that just didn't work.
No.
But if you have a lot of people in your household, then uh, you've got to be able to work with that.
Well, plus budgets are as personal as the kind of things you like to wear. Budgets are
Mhm.
personal to your family, is
Mhm.
based on the number of people in your home, as you shared earlier, but also the kind of foods you like to buy. If
And
you
that's
eat a lot
true.
of steak and different things like that, your budget's certainly going to look differently from someone who does not eat that kind of food. So
Mhm.
all of that's going to
So just a reminder, in we are still working with number one, trying to stay out of the grocery store more than once a week, and trying not to go to that grocery store every day. Make
Mhm.
one run. We're trying to stay with a plan. So we're using our framework. And for those of you who might have come in later, Miss Denise, I'm going to go up and find, I know I clicked earlier, but I'm going to bring that link back. And this link is also in our description box. But we talked about the weekly dinner rhythm framework, and we are encouraging you to make sure that you get it. And actually, this week you're going to have not only the explanation, but you're going to have a worksheet that you see very similar to the one that's here on the screen. Not exactly, because actually the one that you're going to get looks a lot even better, and you'll be able to plug in what you are going to prepare for your week. Looking at your anchor protein, it goes back to that four-part budget meal formula where you have your anchor protein, you got your bulk volume, you've got your veggies, you've got your flavor profiles that you're using, those four, and you're able to develop and create 4 to 5 meals and prepare that for your family. And I hope all of you have had an opportunity to take a look at the meals that Miss Denise and I worked on this weekend, and which was really a lot of fun. Now, you know what, Miss Denise, and I did not put this on paper, but for those of you who are, I won't say new to the Modern Home Economist, and maybe even new to just coming to the show, because we haven't always been the Modern Home Economist.
No.
And each of us have a separate channel. I'm Ebony Ivy Thyme. Ms. Denise is Homemaking
with Denise.
With Denise. And so, but what we would like for you to do tonight is to make sure that you go to the channel, The Modern Home Economist, and like it and subscribe to it, because we need for that channel to build and populate so that we're able to bring more to you. The more people that we have, the more information we can bring to you. And it just opens up doors that we're really excited about the possibilities for. Don't you agree, Miss Denise?
I think so. And so when you go, make sure you're looking for us.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see our picture in the banner. If it's not our picture in the banner, is not the right one.
That's right.
Definitely go over there and check us out. And, you know, we decided to become the Modern Home Economist because we just felt that there was so much that we needed to be able to share with you guys, things that we've learned over time. And some of the lessons that we learned aren't necessarily being taught today, or that you might have to kind of change up a little bit of what you have taught. So, or rather what you have learned. So we just want to be able to share these thoughts with you guys. And one of the things that we talk about here on the Modern Home Economist is we don't drift, we decide.
Absolutely.
When you're looking at that budget, be thinking about what it is that you want to decide to do for that budget.
That is so true. I popped this up because Deborah is sharing with Anna that her son died almost 5 years ago now, and she's praying so hard for her. It's something that you'll never get over, but for what it's worth, too, you will learn to carry it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's a powerful message, a really powerful message. And, you know, it's getting just a little bit late. You want to do the Modern Home Economist ending for
sure.
us, and then we're going to take some time. And Anna, don't leave, because we're going to spend the last few minutes with you.
Okay. So one of the things that we always like to give is that our Modern Home Economist moment. And since I wasn't paying attention, I lost my place in the notes. So let me just find it. But one of the things we talk about is that as a Modern Home Economist, we feel like we're making decisions about how to support our family. And a Modern Home Economist has a well-supported home. And that support can be from all the 4 pillars that we address: food, finances, home management, as well as time. So those are the things that we all try to look at. And I know I certainly need to know some of those things when I was a young mom and a young.
Me too. Absolutely. Now, guys, before we close out tonight, let's take a moment and just pray with Anna and for Anna tonight, and anyone else who may have things that are weighing heavy. And in fact, to be honest with you, we all just need to keep all of us lifted up in prayer, because things are changing, and it's not just about our budget. There are things that are happening in people's family. I know we have some people who have those who are overseas, and they're struggling in trying to deal with that and to handle that, as well as those who are like Anna, who are dealing with losses, whether it's today, this week, 5 years ago. It's a loss, and it's hard. So let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we're just so thankful for your graciousness, your goodness. Lord, we love you. We give you all of the honor, the glory, and the praise. And Lord, we lift up to you our community, our entire community. And tonight we're all holding Anna up, and we're holding those up who have family members who are in harm's way tonight. And Lord, we just pray that you will be with both Anna and the families of those others, that you will be with them, that you will give them the strength that they need, that you will help to provide everything that they stand in need of. Lord, that you will give them the mental strength to be able to stay positive, to push through, and to do the things that are necessary just for their everyday life. We know it's not easy, God, but we lean on you each and every day. Lord, we know that there are those who are suffering with sicknesses, some more serious than others. Some it's colds, some it's just headaches. So I don't want to say just headaches, but some headaches. And the flu has been rampant. And Lord, we just pray that you will just continue to heal each and every person. Lord, I thank you for my friend Denise, and I thank you for Blue Skies, who is so important to the two of us in keeping things going. Lord, we thank you for the community that you have brought together. And Lord, we just ask that as each and every person shuts off their computer tonight, that they will stop. They will say something to you to let you know how much they appreciate you. Because without you, we are nothing. So, in the precious name of Jesus, we all pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Leona. Thank you.
Amen. Wow. So we have those who are, Deani said she's been in and out today. And she says she's thankful for sharing our tips and tricks, that we don't drift, we decide. And she says she loves that in all areas of life: home economics, faith, relationships, and careers. You are absolutely right, Deani. And we're trying to stay intentional with what we're doing.
And I found the Modern Home Economist moment rather than make up one.
Well, go ahead. We
I
got
found it. And it said the Modern Home Economist doesn't rely on willpower.
Mm.
Build simple systems that carry her through the week. And so the systems of the grocery budget, the grocery list, the shopping plan, and the no mid-store runs, that's the system that's carrying her through the week. So
Well, Miss Denise, can you think of anything else that we need to talk about tonight that's pressing?
no, I think we can invite them to look at our show when we did 7 practical ways to become a modern home economist.
Mm-hmm.
They can check that out if they've not seen it. And they can check out our show last week when we talked about our grocery challenge and said the challenge is over. Like, what do they do now? I think those are 3 important shows, because it really lays the foundation to help them begin to do some things differently, because we just have to right now. We just have to.
That's true. And, who knew? Who knew? But we certainly, we are keeping each of you in prayer as we make plans each week. We're looking to see the direction that lives are going, how we're being impacted, and what can we share with you that will help to ease your mind and your body as you prepare
Yes.
for your family.
Yes.
So we love you all. We want you to have a wonderful week. And we will see you same time, same station, 7:45 next Wednesday for
The
the Modern Home
home.
Economist. See you soon.
And don't forget, download your printable if you don't already have it, or
That's
check your
right.
email for the worksheet.
And hit that subscribe button and
Oh,
give us a thumbs up. We'll see you soon.
bye.